Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Cast. Welcome back to another episode of Haikyuu. This time, I'm checking out episode 2. In the last episode, we met our main character, Sho Hinata, as well as what I assume to be our primary rival here. We have Kageyama. They both played in a tournament. Kageyama, unfortunately, or well, I don't want to say unfortunately. Kageyama, his team ended up beating Sho's team, but he was definitely impressed, and you can see it. I already like the dynamics that they have set up for both of these characters. They're both very passionate and very fiery in their own ways, and I think the dynamic between them is going to be really, really interesting. But unfortunately for Hinata, he wanted to get his revenge on Kageyama, but as we saw in the end of the episode, it appears that they are going to the same high school, Karasuno High School. It was a very good first episode, and while it didn't do something completely extraordinary to necessarily hook me right away, it did give me quite a lot to think about in between recording that episode and this one. I'm not quite sure if this is something unique to me or not, but actually the character that left the strongest impression on me from the first episode was not Hinata, but it was actually Kageyama. I don't want to start rambling about it too much just yet because first off, I like to keep the introduction short, and next, I know we're going to get a lot of information on Kageyama. I need to see a lot more about him before I start over-assuming things. I don't want to get the wrong idea about him before I've seen enough of his character, but he's definitely somebody I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on, and I'm probably going to have a lot of thoughts and discussion around his character depending if he's going in the direction that I think he is. Now, on the other hand, there are some things I want to share about Hinata that I've been thinking about between the episodes. One of those things being that I suspect that his initial growth upon joining this team is going to be pretty explosive. My reason for saying that is that you have to take into account all that Hinata was able to do and all that he was able to progress on his own. Hinata was able to get as far as he has, as good as he is, so good in fact that he was able to get recognized by the king of the court, Kageyama, completely on his own. The entire time, he was surrounded by people that weren't as passionate as him. He had no mentor figure to learn from. He had a bunch of people that just couldn't keep up with him or didn't want to put in the same level of effort or work that he did. And probably most importantly, at least to my knowledge, he didn't even have anybody to play up against that could even keep up with him at all. So he wasn't really like facing any adversity. And that's like a huge way you improve your skills. So that all kind of goes into my prediction. Now that he's in a higher level environment skill-wise, now that he has other people to learn from, be inspired from, practice up against, and work with, I feel like the progress that he's going to be able to make in the early stages of this, because he's probably going to have a gap from the other players, honestly, it's going to be really, really fast. It's going to be really, really impressive to watch from a visual standpoint. But I also think that the rapid progress might end up actually causing some issues, particularly with Kageyama, considering how fiery and competitive he seems to be. He might be worried that he's getting left behind, or I could honestly see it going any number of ways that would cause problems for him. We are just going to have to see though. If you would like to watch my reaction to the next episodes right now, they are over on my Patreon. Episode 3 is on the Soul tier, and episodes far in advance, hopefully 2 or 3 at least, are on the Ascended tier. The Patreon editions are also extended length, meaning you get more reaction and more discussion to go along with each and every video. You can also go follow me on all my socials, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Twitch. All those links are in the description, some are over on the screen here. Please go check them out, I would very much appreciate it. And without further ado, let's check out the episode. It's going to be interesting seeing how he handles the loss and seeing how he develops with it. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. He's in for a tough surprise, what can I say? He's like a whole head taller than him, too. Episode 2, Karasuno High School Volleyball Club. Maybe we're gonna meet some of the team members this time? Yeah, you left a strong impression on him. It's very nice to see that he's able to, like, acknowledge that sort of thing. He's not too arrogant not to acknowledge any strengths of his opponents. We'll see if he outwardly expresses it at all, but... Hopefully not, because you're going to be on the same team. Is this school not exactly known for its volleyball team? Oh. Probably because he's not a good team player. Damn. Guess not. He doesn't necessarily come across as cocky to me. I'm not sure if that's a correct read on him, but I feel like it's a little more complicated than that. Yeah, they got a Connie from Attack on Titan. I'm assuming these are other teammates. They're not even acknowledging him. That's so so rude. Oh no. He's gonna get acknowledged as the short guy already. Right, they were there watching. I don't know if it was the same people. Exactly what I was saying. He left a strong impression on everybody that watched that match. Oh. See, that seems a little more arrogant than anything. Sure. I'm sure he didn't mean it in an arrogant way, but it is definitely eager. He definitely didn't waste his years. I feel like, in fact, he made the most of them considering his circumstance. I hope he expands on that, why he thinks he wasted it. Ultimately, Kageyama has no idea what he's done, so... Daichi and Tanaka. Those are the names I picked up so far. Yeah, can you even like 1v1 in volleyball? I'm not sure if that's a thing or not. That's fair, yeah. And there's probably some knowledge in that too. Learning how to work with a bunch of different types of people. Alright, let's see it. My money's probably on Kageyama, but we need that. Oh, that animation, that was kind of cool. Very different. I like that. Didn't it like go out though? It looked like it went like next to his head. Guess not. You gotta let him get it out. He's fast. Oh. Oh no, not the... Oh no, not the toupee. Alright, let's hear what you gotta say. Gotcha. Wonder if something happened. Or just maybe the better players graduated. I wonder if he saw the same game on TV. Yeah, definitely exciting. I think it is. It is the same game he watched. Hell yeah. Alright, cool. Immediately establishing a longer term goal. I like that. That would be pretty incredible. Right. I gotta talk about that. Uh-oh. There's a reason why this guy's the boss man. Right.
どんなに優秀だろうが一生懸命でやる気があろうが仲間割れした挙句チームに迷惑をかけるようなやつ
Then you gotta answer to him.
いらない互いがチームメイトだって自覚するまで部活には一切参加させない
Okay, well, you know what? I respect that. So the first thing I have to say about that scene is that I am fortunately very relieved. Well, actually, I am relieved about a couple things. First off, that Daichi is treating them both the same. And I'm also relieved that Kageyama seems to be taking it pretty well for now. So to get into my first impressions of Kageyama a little bit, I'm under the assumption that up until this point in his life, he's lived his life as a very big fish in a very small pond. As we know, he is a very talented player, by far the best player that was on his previous team, and I think all of that kind of maybe got in his head a little bit, or at least it had a strong risk to. So that's why I'm glad to see that he's not immediately responding with anger at what Daichi's doing. The fact that Daichi is putting him on the same level as Kageyama, treating him the same, it sort of humbles him a little bit. I worried that he might respond with anger because his pride would be hurt, but so far so good. But it does make me wonder why he seems not to respond so positively to the whole King of the Court title. I can immediately think of quite a few potential reasons. It could possibly be that he feels he doesn't deserve that title. Though he doesn't exactly come across as the type of guy to admit that sort of thing, it would make a lot of sense to me, and it would also make a lot more sense of why he treats his teammates the way he does. Because after all, often whenever you feel unhappy with yourself, you end up taking it out on others, so that could be a potential reason for why he's acting the way he is. But I suppose it could be a much simpler reason, just that he doesn't want someone that's not a teammate of his, someone that he doesn't consider his teammate just yet, to call him something like that. I'm not really sure, but I actually don't think that's it. We're gonna have to see though. I don't want to speculate too much. But yeah, like I said, he's not necessarily responding a lot worse than Hinata is to it. So that's a good thing. So did they actually try to get along, or does it not work out so well?
いいのかよ大地、貴重な部員だろっていうかチームとかって徐々になっていくもんだろ分かってる
Sooner rather than later. Oh. Yeah, right after you knocked him on his ass, yeah? I like this guy. He's intimidating, but I don't know, I trust him. Good leader type. Yep, truth comes out. At least he's being honest. Yeah. Yep, it's a team sport. Not that I know much about volleyball just yet, but I do know that. Yeah, but he's kind of missing the main takeaway. They're not doubting your skills, dude. I don't know, man. It's probably best if he does lose. Yeah, it's not gonna go so well this first time. I can already tell. And if anything, Hinata might actually show him up. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to get in there and play right now. He can go and practice on his own. Yep.
でかい体育館のあのコートの真ん中に立った時、自分が主役になったみたいで、グワーってなった。グワー？ずっとそこにいたかったけど。コートに残るのは
強いやつだけだからな。どうすんだ。多分2人で行かなきゃ門前払いだぞ。
Just, I don't know. Go, like, hit the ball back and forth and talk some. I'm sure that'll help somewhat. Yep, pretty much. Here it comes. I mean, that's a good start.
でも俺こういう奴ら嫌いじゃないっすよ。負けたらどんなペナルティでも受けます。ちょうどいいや。お前らの他に1年が入る予定なんだ。そいつらと3対3で試合やってもらおうか。毎年
Oh, really?
が入ってすぐ雰囲気見るためにやってるゲームだ。
でも3対3ですか。俺たち側のもう一人は
田中、お前当日日向たちの方に入ってくれ。俺っすか。
I feel like these are upperclassmen, right? They're not first years. I don't think they explicitly said otherwise. I like this guy. He's fun. Third years, gotcha.
俺たち3年がいる間、影山にセッターはやらせない。
それだけですか。
個人技で勝負挑んで負ける自己中なやつがセッターじゃチームが勝てないからな。
Oof. Damn.
どうした？
I mean, yeah.
認めないって言ってるわけじゃない。
If that's all you pride yourself on, if you can't live up to the expectation you're setting for yourself, then what good are you?
なんかさ、あいつらにきついんじゃね？
確かにいつもより厳しいっすね、大地さん。
なんか特別な理由でもあんの？
It's because he sees a lot of potential and he doesn't want it to get wasted right away. That's what I think.
自分ばっかペナルティあるから怒ってんのか？でもお前別にセッターじゃなくったってすぐレギュラー取って活躍できるんじゃねえの？それにセッターよりスパイカーの方がかっこいいじゃん。
There's something special about being a setter to him. That's what he wants to do, possibly.
セッターはチームの司令塔だぞ。試合中一番多くボールに触れるのが。
Oh, I see what it is, I think. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's just to be the center of attention, to be the star.
だってセッターって難しいくせに地味っていうか。
He wants that importance. He wants people to rely on him.
でっかい試合生で見たことあるか？
ない。
テレビで映す角度じゃ分かりづらいけど。
That could pose some problems, for sure.
そうするとセッターの超ハイエイトスがよくわかるんだよ。コートの端から端までギュンって敵のブロックの目の前をボールが過ぎて、おい、それ本当に打てんのかって思うんだけど。
It's cute though, because he clearly has a lot of passion for it in a positive way. It's not all ego. He looks at it the same way that Hinata looks at all this in some way.
敵のブロックを欺いてスパイカーの前の壁を切り開く。難しくてかっこよくて面白いのがセッターだ。
お前がセッターやりたいのはよくわかった。
Yeah. If you know what you want, then go get it, man.
勝てばいいんだろ。お前先輩相手でも自信満々だったじゃねえか。
そうだ。動揺すんな。
It's probably because it's a very team-oriented position. Like, didn't he say you have to set up other players? You can't communicate with them or work with them. It's not going to work. This guy's already being a bro. Love it.
京都のズレは無事だったんですかね。おい、その話やめろ。
朝5時。
遅刻すんなよ。
おめえだよ。
Yeah, it's a good dynamic already. Nice. So maybe the match is going to be next episode.
鍵閉まってる。
じゃあ入れる窓探せ。
見つかったらやべえだろうがバカか。
Or Hinata can teach him the way of practicing with what you got, maybe?
7時前には切り上げろよ。
田中さん。
I love this guy. He's such a bro.
田中先輩
Yeah, Kageyama's interesting. Not necessarily quite as hot-headed as I would have expected him to be.
いつもより厳しいっすね、大地さん。
He might not be so hard to work with. We'll see.
も去年のあいつらの試合見ただろ。影山は中学生としてはずば抜けた実力を持っていたはずなのに、いまいち結果は残せていない。
Right.
あの個人主義じゃ中学のリピートだ。チームの足を引っ張りかねない。
Sure, if all he does is blame other people, he's not going to be able to find self-growth.
山と同じチームに日向がいる。
日向？まあ確かに運動神経の塊って感じですけど。
うん。実力はまだまだだけど。
Right, because he has basically no real experience.
加えてあのバネだ。でも中学ではセッターに恵まれなかった。そして影山は自分のトスを打てる速いスパイカーを求めてる。あいつら単独じゃ不完全だけど。
Yeah.
才能を合わせたら。
And you've got some star players for sure. They have a different story and a different, you know, situation, but you can have some really strong players there. Explosively, that's what I said. I said Hinata's gonna have explosive growth. That's why he's being hard on them, because he wants to pull the most out of them.
おい、時間ない。コンビネーションとか以前の問題だよ、この野郎。
That's alright.
体育館
You just know that they're gonna clash heads at every moment, but
ここで練習したんだな。
they're gonna be very, very good friends.
よーし
Also, yeah, the little giant. Somebody pointed out to me that, about that whole thing. Alright, that does it for episode 2. I pretty much got exactly what I wanted out of that episode. We got more Kageyama, Hinata, headbutting, clashing, but we got to see a little bit more about the type of people they are, especially Kageyama. I think I may have initially got a more negative impression of him. I was kind of thinking in my head more of a Bakugo type character from My Hero. Luckily, he doesn't seem to be that far gone from reality to where he's like the pure star, pure arrogant, pure all of that, hard to work with. He seems to be at least somewhat reasonable, so that's a good thing. We also got to meet some of the teammates. We got to meet Daichi, who seems to be like the captain of the team. I'm not exactly sure if they stated that as his actual position, but he definitely is the more leadership type. Everybody seems to be listening to him. Honestly, seems pretty solid. I already like his approach to things. Very adult, very mature. He's definitely almost like a guardian type character already, so I look forward to seeing a lot more of him. We also got to meet Tanaka, who seems to be a little bit more of the comedian type. Honestly, a big ball of energy. I already like him. He definitely is like the bro type character, a nice guy. I don't know. I think he probably is my favorite character from this episode. I'm definitely once again looking forward to seeing more of him. There was also a character with more like gray, short, curly hair. I didn't actually catch his name, but he seems to be like the more gentle, nice guy type of thing. So there's already a wide variety of character types. You'll love to see it. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like on the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.